we'll start looking at because maybe lines here. Wilson, we talked about some of the things. The pregame, I think the only boxer might have been turnovers. Outside of that, uh, Cardell, Ray, you guys know what it is that vaunted magic number for Washington, the number of doom. Uh, they gave up 40 in the third. They gave up another 40 in the fourth. Um, totally erased the solid first half. Cardell, you were in the building, so we'll start with you and then Ray. But it's one thing that for that quarter to happen once, to double up on that quarter is another thing in its entirety.
The mind-boggling part is they were leading 62-51 at the half. Miles Bridges and Knuckle, who both finished with over 20, well, Knuckle finished with 20, Miles Bridges finished with 22 at the half. Miles Bridges had 4 points, Knuckle had 6. That third quarter, I don't know what I mean, the bench got going, and really, let's call it what it is. And who's the first name in the pregame show I brought up regarding the Hornets, Wilson? Mr. Ball. I say you gotta contain him, or it can get bad because everything feeds off of him. And he almost had a triple double in the third. 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. No turnovers. 4-7 from the field. And then everybody got a rhythm. Sheon James, rookie from Duke, defensive player, 10 points in the third. Knuckle, 11 points, 11 of his 20 in the third. Remember, I had said he had 6 at halftime. He had 11 in the third. And then all hell broke loose. And they couldn't stop him. Once he's the type, once he get in the rhythm and he start feeling good and everything like that, it's a clinic. And that's what you kind of saw for the remaining game. To allow 88 points and a half is man. I can overanalyze this all we want, man. It's bad, man. Like that's why when people try to downplay defense and try to act like it's not most important, when they try to act like you don't need that on your team as a team to really put emphasis on that end of the floor, I can't take you serious, man. Because it looks bad when your defense just implodes like this. If they was going to implode like that, what's the point of playing the second half, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, let the fans know so they can roll and put the G League guys, third, second stringers in and let them get some reps or something, man. That was just bad. I understand that Ball got on the heater and stuff like that. Cool. You weather the storm. He's going to cool off if you just stick with it defensively, and he never quite did. And then he had help with Miles Bridges, Knuckle, and all those guys just going to work, man. Look, it's only the third game of the season. Not gonna overreact too much, man. But this is a stinker for a home opener. They gotta go back to the drawing board, man. And it starts with it needs to start with the defense, man. And they also you can kind of see it on the floor, which I was kind of afraid of. It's starting to seep in. Young guys, I gotta get mine because other guys getting theirs, and I gotta get mine. I ain't getting a shot here. You can start to see it already. They're gonna have to reel that in, man, because if it gets too bad, you're gonna see more and more nights like this, man. But yeah, man, it was Ball's game. He controlled the game. To be honest, he controlled the game from the opening tip. It's just that the Wizards was right there, clicking, defending, and executing on that side of the floor. Like he had 15, 7, and 2 in the first quarter. So that kind of lets you know how it was gonna go. But nobody else had joined them. I don't know what the hell happened at halftime where they just came out like that, man, and it was just flat and not on the same page or whatever. It was just a clinic. No other way to put it, man. I mean, Ball was in this joint looking like Magic Johnson, dog. They can shoot threes, and that's that young and talented, but he ain't that talented. So that just tells you what type of night it was.
Ray, your thoughts on? I don't even want to say. Cardell hurt when you said the quarters numbers together in total. So just Ray, your thoughts on that second half.
It's not even too much to say, man. You can't you can't give up the magic number one quarter, then say hold my beer on a, like back to back. Like one is bad enough, but 88 points and a half, that's completely unacceptable. Like it's no situation where you could you could lay out for me where I could be like, all right, I can see how that could happen. That should never ever happen. But but yeah, they just kind of fell off a cliff. The first half was they were in control of the game. They went up in halftime with a double digit lead. I don't know what happened in the locker room for both teams because Charlotte came out and it seemed like they were a completely different team. They figured out the Wizards and just poured it on and never took their foot off the gas. Um, yeah, for the Wizards, you just teams are going to have runs, but you can't let it just get out of control like this. You got to find a way to stop the bleeding at some point and regain your footing. This is something we talked about uh, for a few seasons now. Once they get rocked, they don't punch back. It's it's just a beating from then on, and that's what we saw tonight, man. But yeah, this is a tough one, especially for a young team. Bub Carrington, he's got to find himself again. He he just hasn't looked like himself since the end of last season. At any point that he's been on the court since then, so it's interesting to see how he can kind of get back to what he was doing his rookie year. But overall, man, this burn the tape, start over from scratch, and get ready for Tuesday because this was horrible.
Yeah, as you guys, there's not too much to add on. Think Carter, you always talk about the scout report, catching up to folks. I think Keyshawn and Trey got a little bit of it with the way, Keyshawn got space the first two games. Charlotte was like, no, not you. I don't care what else happens today. It's just not going to be you. On the broadcast, I mentioned several times he came into this game averaging 27 and a half, obviously small sample size. And Charlotte treated him as such. I think Trey still had a solid game scoring the ball, but they even a little bit, they started running him off the line a little bit more than the space that he was getting. That said, again, Cardell, you touched on Diabate. Felt like you said keep an eye on him. He really made an impact. We talk about Whitmore's athleticism. Diabate met him at the top of the rim at least 3 times. I feel like all 3 blocks were on Cam. I could be wrong. That's just remembering the plays a couple of times. But that also the rebounding. We talked about that getting into this game, giving Washington credit for winning that battle or at least being tied through the first 2 games. They lost the night on the glass, and that third quarter. And I'm just gonna discount the fourth quarter. Like it was just one long quarter to me. I don't even think there was honestly. It was just the third quarter had a brief intermission that we could call the fourth quarter. Like it was just bad. And we talked about we mentioned the ball pressure, which was great. Great against Dallas. We saw how much they bothered Dallas tonight. LaMelo was unbothered for most of the night. I felt like Keyshawn was on him early. I think soon as Keyshawn kind of got off him a little bit, he felt comfortable and never really felt bothered again. But even then, he still had a good first quarter. But as Cardell said, everyone else didn't join in. Like Miles Bridges was invisible for most of the game. And then, halftime and Miles Bridges. Whole first half.
Third quarter, everybody else joined the party. It's like not to cut you off. I'm just trying to put emphasis. No, at halftime, the Wizards bench outscored the Hornets bench 23-4. Second half, it flipped. Charlotte's bench outscored them 31-24. And for people at home that really don't understand how bad the defense was for the Wizards, third quarter for the Hornets, shooting splits 60, 63, 77. Fourth quarter, shooting splits 77, 100, 91. You got it, Wills. My bad.
And that's to throw in. No, you're good. And just that's those 2 quarters right there. If you throw in the first quarter in Milwaukee, And that was 70, something absurd as well. You can't have those quarters. That's why we're talking about it all last year. You damn sure can't have two of those quarters in one game. They got Philly coming in on Tuesday, so you got a day to, as Ray said, flush it, but you just can't, man. You truly can't. I think the only silver line I took out of this one was a little bit. I thought Alex played well during his time on the court. That was about it, but I'm sure they would. I know I'm looking forward to when he's off his minutes restriction a little bit because it was tough to watch, man. It was just tough to watch as a whole. But yeah, shout out to Diabate and the rest of the Hornets players off the bench. To flip it like that is absurd because they were getting it was one-sided in the first half, as was several other parts of the game. But credit to Charlotte, they came off of this is the second night of a back-to-back, and they put up that in the second half. Mind you, they lost last night in Philly.
Which makes it even more disgusting. And now you got to deal with a Philly team that's playing well because they got two Bulls on that perimeter, dog. You got to deal with Maxey, and then VJ. He just hungry. He like, I need it now. I'm not waiting. I want it now. All of it. The problem with the Wizards is they impact teams where they at least got Dallas because of their pace. Charlotte plays the same way. So, and no disrespect, they got more seasoned, obviously better pieces around to execute this style of play right now. So, this is why you need somebody to you need vets to kind of slow it down and stuff like that because that'll throw the Hornets off the game, and that's also a reason why the Wizards had the lead at halftime. It was controlled chaos, like I said. It was chaos when it was needed to be, but then they would slow it down. But in the second half, it was all the Hornets style of play. It was just dominant, man, from over the tip, dog. So, yeah, dog, come on, man. You almost give them up 100 and a half. That's just sickening. I mean, matter of fact, let me see what Ball had in the second half, man. I know his was crazy, man. He had 15, 9, and 6 in the second half.
Yeah, you can't
and only one turnover. On 60, 75 splits. Then he get to the free throw line.
Yeah, they're gonna have to address that. Address the point of attack, defending at the point of attack. You just mentioned them two dudes in Philly. If you couldn't keep the folks in Charlotte from getting downhill, that's gonna be hell on Tuesday. That's just being perfectly honest. And we've seen through the couple games of Philly, both of them dudes are perfectly happily living like that too.
And especially if Embiid play, I know they been taking some heat. I know he looking like the Wizards is the game. I can get things back on track. I know what he's doing. And especially after this game, he yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna remind folks on Tuesday if he plays. So they gotta come in. Yeah, but this was I know some coaches be like, we ain't gonna watch this film. I'll make them watch this, mom. Y'all gonna watch this.
At least they don't have to cue the tape. They don't have to cue the tapes too far back. Just start at the third quarter.
Yeah. Everybody else had to watch it. Y'all gonna watch this.
All right. We already know who it is. He was already mentioned several times, so there's no need. X Factor for you guys.
Much as I hate to give Dookie props, man, conking up 26 rebounds, 2 assists, man. He was scorching, 58, 55 splits. And they gave that boy another shooter, knockdown shooter, unconscious shooter. So, and he can hold up defensively, man. And guys that just know how to play, like they did the pick and roll action where they ran him off the three. He came off a dribble handoff, and they blitzed him and ran him off the 3-point line. And he just did it. He dropped the pad, bounce pass to Musa. And Musa, and Musa dunked the hell out of that joint. I'm like, oh yeah, so he's advanced. He's advanced. He had the mid range too. He's like, no, I'm gonna give my big man some love, keep him engaged, man. So he already playing chess, man, with everything else he can do. So yeah, that's who get my vote.
Ray, same candidate or somebody else?
crowded field for sure. Ain't no need making it hard, man. I could rock with Canepo as well. Some other guys were deserving, but his contributions did stick out, especially the shooting. Because when LaMelo would kind of break down the initial defender, get in the lane, he's able to kick out with confidence the guys that's going knock down the shots, and that would kind of threw the Wizards off in the third quarter. They just couldn't get to guys, and Canepa was a big part of that.
No argument for me. He looks super comfortable. There's a reason, we mentioned in the pregame coming in is he came into this game shooting 60 from three. I don't know what I can't think exactly what he shot tonight, but I feel like 55. He did it best. He's at 55?
55%.
Oh wow. So he's still on track. Like again, as Cardell said, the kid knows what he's doing, and that's a hell of a weapon. I know we had talked draft day when Charlotte brought in guys, and it was like, all right, look, they're bringing in folks that should be able to find spots in the rotation. Obviously, Khan is comfortable immediately, but yeah, it looked like a different Charlotte last night when they lost to Philly, honestly, than the Charlotte we've seen the last couple of years a little bit. But obviously, just first go around for Washington, can't have this happen again. And you got speed coming in here on Tuesday. See how that goes, but better find a way to keep them dudes out the paint. Otherwise, it's going to be a long 4 quarters for sure. But Washington drops to 1-2 in a year. Charlotte moves to 2-1, and that is also one of those good old fashioned NBA division losses as well. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all on Tuesday.